Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide, tengo el honor de presentar al único, inconfundible, the one and only EllMatic, yo. Yeah.
Welcome to Hertha BSC Fan Talk, and coming all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, representing Die Alte Dame, I'm your number 13, your host, Selector. It is Bundesliga again. Welcome to die Rückrunde, the second half of the season. And we're opening up with none other than Hertha BSC versus Fc Bayern Munich. In the Hinrunde, in the first half of the season, to open the season, we also played Bayern Munich, of course, but at their home. And what a thriller of a game that was. I'm sure I do not need to remind you, but it was a 2-2 draw in Bayern, which very few teams can say that they draw with Bayern in Munich. So, the stage was set. Lothar Matthäus, one of the greats of German soccer, comes out and says, I don't think Bayern Munich is gonna win in Berlin. And how do things change when we actually play the game? I was really excited. I was hyped. I thought Klinsmann was gonna tweak the screws, whip the team in shape in Orlando, and come out there and make a stand. However, we play the same tactic that we played at Leverkusen. We stand very defensive, do not attack the other players before they come into the final third of the pitch. To me, if we're looking in the past when we had success against Bayern Munich, we did a high press. We ran at them early, put them under pressure, forced them to make bad decisions, and then ended up drawing, defeating, or barely, or losing at a very small margin. To me, if you want to play and defeat Bayern Munich, you got to play really good soccer. Okay, I know. Jürgen Klinsmann has not been there that long. Neither has Alexander Nuri, our co-trainer. So maybe they don't have the team fine-tuned to do a high press. If one person on a high press is not doing their job, the whole scheme fails. So why risk it, right? Okay, fair enough. We fight with the weapons that we have. However, looking at the game, it felt like the Hertha players were trying to conserve the energy, which we didn't get scored on in the first half. So I thought, maybe, this is going to work. And the second half, we're going to come out and we're going to use this saved energy and we're really going to get at them. We're really going to start attacking them, maybe at the halfway line and not in the final third. It's not that far. It's like, 20, 30 meters? Yeah, if we're fit, if we still have the energy, let's do it. However, as we know, that also didn't happen. It was weird. Is the team tired? Is the team not in shape? I mean, if we look at the stats, we ran 113.2 kilometers and a glorious FC Bayern Munich ran 117. They beat us by 4 kilometers. And usually, if you have the ball, you don't have to run as much because you let the ball do the work. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way how I see it. You pass the ball, you cross it, or switch the field, the whole defensive team has to shift over. Switch it back, the whole defensive team has to shift over. The offensive players don't really shift that much. So, this is scary. What is also scary is all the missed passes. It wasn't too worrying much, but it was a lot. And unfortunately, always in the end when it mattered. In the final third, the last pass to nowhere. The last pass straight to a defender. Well, we played 344 passes and had 99 missed passes, which is 71% passing accuracy. It's against Bayern. I still would like to see that at 78, 79 to really have a chance. Bayern played 689 passes and only missed 86 and had a passing percentage of 88%. All right, well, that's the overall feeling that I have for the game. Now let's look at some details. Selke or Selke? I have to say, I like Selke. He has potential, but he's not scoring. However, he works for the team. But if you are in the box and you are on the penalty spot, 11 meters out from the goal, and Platnard, who does a beautiful run up the left-hand side and crosses to you a sweet pass that drops right on you, that you can either chest down and shoot, or left or right, put some pressure on it, head it in. Nope, Selke decides it's better to just scuff it wide with his head. If we would have scored at that point in time, in the 11th minute, what would this game have been like? Oh my God, I feel like the Ostkurve would have risen, the atmosphere would have changed, and I know my blue-white Hertana players would have felt that energy, and we would have, screw the tactics, coach, we're going 100%. Anyways, it didn't happen, and before we got scored on, I actually felt the goal coming. I know everybody probably did, because they had chance after chance, crossing it in, the pressure was rising. I'm yelling at the TV, timeout, we need a timeout. Timeout, not stop the game, but just kick the ball all the way to Neuer, to the other goalkeeper. However, the furthest we seem to always be able to kick the ball out is maybe the halfway line. Sometimes they want to play it out short, it doesn't even get to the halfway line. Boom, it's Bayern. If you give them that many chances, if you let them build up that much pressure, they will score. That's just what happens. It's 1-0, it's not the end of the world. Let's keep it moving. So in the 68th minute, we do subs, finally. Because Dilrosun soon was kind of a little bit defensive. You saw him every now and then getting the ball and being in the way, but not really. I mean, he was against Müller, and Müller had a field day with him, which was sad because, you know, I was hoping Dilrosun soon would also be like Luke Bacchio and be able to do some nice defensive movements and plays, but that was not the case, and offensive, nothing. I mean, Plattenhardt was way more offensive on that wing than he was. So good, Wolf comes in. We all know Wolf is like day and night. He can play good or he can play horrible. This time I think he was okay. I would say it was better than what Dilrosun was doing over there, even though I think Wolf was on the right-hand side. And we bring on Köpke. Switch it to a 4-4-2. And I was like, yes, now we're going to change our tactics, we're going to attack them, and we're going to move forward. And yes, that was the idea. And then comes our glorious right back, Klünter, and pulls down Müller in the box. Why? The referee is right there. Why are you holding this man? Let's talk about player impressions. I think that our 11 million signee in the winter, Askachibar, did very well. I was impressed. This was the first game I ever saw him play, and I think he did a good job. He was winning balls, he was distributing them pretty good. Of course, you're not going to win every ball against Thiago and some of the slipperiest fish in the sea out there right now. But I think he did a really good job. Also, shout out to Boyata and Air Jordan Torunariga. Oh my God, did they hold their own. Impressive, very impressive. Coach Klinsmann had the back four really narrow, so allowing for a lot of crosses in. That's the reason why I think Jordan was picked over Rekic, because he's better in the air heading out the ball, and did he prove the coach right? I mean, nothing really came in there too dangerously, except for the, a few moments, but it's Bayern. They're gonna get you eventually if you let them. However, him and Boyata, absolute rocks. Very happy with the performance. Jahrstein. Keeper, my keeper. Oh, good performance. Can't say anything. The goals that were scored, he couldn't really do anything about it. Once again, Jahrstein is the man for us in goal. Also, a highlight, Dodi Lukebakio. A lot of people criticized his inability to play defense before the season started, but oh my God, has he proved the haters wrong. He was working all the way back to help out Klünter, who we'll talk about in the next segment, had his hands full with Alphonso Davies the left back from FC Bayern, who consistently kept beating him. Luka Bakio came in there, did his thing, and still had the capacities to be our most threatening offensive player. Forward, beating a couple of players in one-on-ones, including Davies. Good man, good player, best offensive player on Hertha right now, as of the last game. Also a highlight, and this is a little, maybe I'm a little biased, but I've been hearing in the networks that Plattenhardt, people didn't like his performance. I don't know why. He was sharing the left side with Dilrosun, who was basically not there. He was defensive, you saw him every now and then, but Müller had a field day with him. But Plattenhardt, he came in and he's pretty much defensive sound on the possession of Bayern Munich. And did he not come forward and bring in some nice balls? I think he did really well. And I think that he deserves a shout out. And then if he keeps working at his craft, he'll be our solid left back again. Very happy with him. Now, there, however, are a couple players that were not very nice. Dilrosun, he seemed to me on offense invisible. He was never there. He did a bunch of bad passing, and on defense he wasn't too helpful either. My man Klünter, number 13, Mr. Klünter, got beat like Perisic and Davies. They just kept running at him and kept getting past him. Then he pulled down Müller for the penalty. I'm just gonna say not his day. Darida, he tried a lot. He ran a lot, but not a lot was going his way, and he had his issues. So those three, I would say, are really the negatives, takeaways, player-wise. Grujic, who I always kind of criticize a little bit harsh because he sets his own marks so high, I think he did okay. I've seen him move forward. I've seen him defensively strong. I was happy. Zelke is Zelke. No need to talk about it. We need to play him. He's cost us a lot of money. He needs to start scoring. I like that Klinsmann builds on him. But if Zelke does not start scoring soon, gentlemen, we're going to be in a world of trouble. Because I don't know how Ibisevic is going to fare coming off the bench. Now, I'm a big Ibisevic fan as well. However, he seems cold. Will he need time to get going? Will we make this switch too late? I don't know. We'll see. However, Klinsmann being a former striker and him saying Zelke and Klünter are the way forward, the two young men, I can respect that decision. But we need goals. Otherwise, it's a very bad situation for us. However, a takeaway from the game is, to me, it showed clearly what we need. We need an offensive, but also defensive sound right back in the form of Lazaro or Weiser. Klünter is, in my opinion, pretty good going forward, but he's just not defensive good enough when you're going up against a Bayern, when there could be a Coman, Perisic, Gnabry, Davies. I don't think that he's in that class. And if we want to compete Europa League and push into those places, we need somebody that is dependable. Another position is, of course, playmaker. To me, Darida is a hard worker and he can score, but he's better if he comes out of the defensive midfield, not as the offensive playmaker. We really need somebody there. And as much as I hate to say it, we need a striker. We need somebody that can put it away if Zelke doesn't start to score soon. Overall, to round off the game, I think we were well organized on defense, even though I think that we were too defensive and we started attacking them a little bit too late, giving them that whole area in front of the box to just rotate the ball left to right and position us how they want to. I also don't like the whole long balls to get into the final third. Even though Zelke did a great job bringing them down and controlling them, I'm not a big fan of long balls. Also, a highlight is we have no corners. 7 to 20 shots, okay, it's Bayern, but we have no corners. And in the end, I like that we opened up and said, you know what, it's 1-0, 4-4-2, let's get it. And what happened? We get a penalty that had nothing to do with the system change, that had nothing to do with us going more offensive. But the last 2 goals had to do with us going more offensive, which I'm totally okay with. At least Hertha is alive. At least we're trying, at least we're pushing, at least we try to go out with a boom and not just say, oh, it's 2-0, let's just protect and make sure we don't get any more. I'm your host, Selector, number 13 from Atlanta, Georgia. Stay tuned for the next episode after next game day. Let's get it. Ha, ho, hey, Hertha BSC.
All the hip hop heads worldwide. Tengo el honor